Okay, so before we start with our main agenda, I just want to share that we lost one of the co-organizer. Sorry, one of the co-organizer of both the meetups, named Laila Itati, and I just want to just remember her. For those of you who don't know her, um, she had a PhD in information systems and did that from the University of Auckland. Uh, she was a co-director and data scientist in Redacard. Sorry. And she was the first Microsoft AI MVP in New Zealand and Australia, which was awarded to her in 2016. And she was the co-organizer for these two meetups and also the three conferences, which were the Definity Power BI Global Summit and then the Data SQL Saturday conferences. And she was well known uh, as an international speaker at many conferences. She has gone into Europe, UK, USA, Australia, Turkey, yeah, a lot of places. Uh, and she's a very positive person, and you will see her always with a smile. If you just type Laila Itati and then go into images, you will always see a smiling photo. I was just doing that about a half an hour ago just to see whether there is even one photo without a smile on her. But yeah, she has been smiling. And the last time I saw her uh, was on December 19th. She was suffering from tongue cancer, and she survived for 11 months with the tongue cancer. She had a lot of pain. I never thought that that would be the last that I would be seeing her, but just want to remember her. So let's maybe maintain a couple of minutes of silence and just think about her before we start today's session. Thank you for that. Um, Moving on, just want to let you know upcoming events. Um, there is this Global Power BI Summit. This is the link to this Power BI and Fabric Summit 2024, which is being organized by Radacad. One of the co-directors, Reza, is not here today because I think he needs more time um, to recover from Lila's loss. So if anyone wants to register, please register at this link. I'll just post this link in the chat in a couple of minutes. It's a virtual conference that is running from 12th to 16th of February, and it will have two tracks, which is one is in Power BI and one is in Fabric. So you can register. And there are a lot of speakers. You can get all the information from here. So now, without further ado, I'll hand over to Sudhir, who's going to take us through AI features in Microsoft Fabric. I'll stop sharing. And Sudhir, you can go. And if anyone wants to have some questions, do you want to take questions at the end, or what do you want to do, Sudhir?
Let's take it at the end.
End, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you can share your screen and.
Yeah, just give me a minute. I'm doing that. You see my screen, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, sweet. Thanks, Indra, for the introduction. Hey, everyone. My name is Sudhir, and I work with Microsoft based out in Auckland, in New Zealand. And I've been with Microsoft from 15 plus years, working on data and AI platform. And my role and responsibility is to work with Microsoft customers and unblock their journey on Azure. What I'm going to talk about is, I'm sure everybody heard about Fabric, which is a new analytic platform from Microsoft, and there are a lot of stuff going on AI as well, right? So I thought it'll be good to talk about what are the AI capabilities are there within Fabric, which basically going to enhance the developer's productivity, and as well as, it will give the users more insights on the data. So how that can be done, we will explore in the today's presentation. And as I mentioned, if you have any questions, feel free to type in, but we will take those questions at the end of the presentations. I have provided. I would request to mute yourself if you're not speaking. Okay, thank you. So if you want to connect, I have provided my social pointers on the screen. Feel free to connect. Happy to learn from you as well. Let me just move on to the next slide. Okay, so the data platform, right, for the era of AI, is aims to, and what I believe is, to accelerate the productivity through the co-pilots, empowering decision makers with AI-driven insights, and unlock the creative potential with the generative AI on the data. Now, with the co-pilot, I'm sure you at least heard about co-pilots, if not worked with the co-pilots yet. Those are actually AI powered assistants that work alongside with humans to enhance the productivity, right? It basically facilitates the seamless collaboration between humans and machines and creating a synergetic workflow. It also automates repetitive and time-consuming tasks, which basically free up humans to do more strategic and creative decisions, right? And also provide the real-time support and suggestions, enabling user to be more informed decision rapidly, right? Now, in the earlier days, if you need some help, you're probably gonna go around and figure it out, how to do this, what is this problem, where I can see and who can help. But now you have the co-pilot with you. You can actually ask and get more insights on your data or the way you want to work, right? You can actually harness the power of AI to extract the meaningful insights from the vast amount of data, right? And that's the AI-driven insights it's all about, right? If you have a lot of information that are available with you, sometimes having all those numbers in front of you, it's going to be very time consuming for you to understand and make a summary out of it, right? And that's where you're probably going to leverage the AI capabilities to basically summarize that information. Or maybe if you want to do some kind of a predictive analytics, you can actually leverage the AI algorithms to predict those future trends and outcomes and enabling the proactive decision making, right? Not only that, if you want to figure out the actionable recommendations, that also you can do. If you want to do improve decision making, continuous learnings, you can actually go ahead and do that. But whenever you're playing with the AI, building some models, I would always recommend to my peers, to the developers I interact with, to think about the ethical considerations, right? And the data privacy concerns to build the trust and credibility in the AI-driven insights. Then last but not the least is the generative AI on your own data. You can use the generative AI to transform your raw data into the meaningful and the valuable content as well. You can enable the automatic generation of creative content such as text, image, and the video based on the underlying data. You can actually tailor the generative AI models to create the content that aligns with the specific user preferences and the requirement as well, right? Now that allows you to foster the innovations and creativity by leveraging the generative AI to explore new ideas and the possibilities. And you can also explore the versatility of the generative AI by applying it across various domains, from art and the design to scientific research as well. Now, if you not heard about it or not get a chance yet to get into the Microsoft Fabric world, let me just give you a brief introduction about Microsoft Fabric. It basically serves as a powerful and unified data platform which brings together data integration, advanced analytics, scalability, security, and collaborations to propel organizations forward in the era of AI. Now, Fabric facilitates the holistic approach to data management, driving innovations and success in the evolving landscape of artificial intelligence. It represents the groundbreaking unified data platform designed to empower organizations in the era of AI, and it seamlessly integrates various data sources and technologies, providing a cohesive ecosystem for efficient data management and utilization. Now, Fabric enables the integration and diverse data sources, including structured and unstructured data, creating a comprehensive and unified view. And you can unify the data from on-premises, cloud, and hybrid environments, breaking down the data silos and enhancing the accessibility. You can leverage the advanced analytics and AI capabilities integrate into the Microsoft Fabric to extract meaningful insights from the data. And the platform also supports the machine learning models, allowing organizations to build, deploy, and manage AI solutions directly within the unified environment. Now, Microsoft Fabric is built for the scalability, allowing organizations to handle massive data sets and growing workload with ease, and always ensures the high performance and responsiveness, enabling real-time analytics and the processing of a large volume data. Now, from the security and the compliance perspective, it prioritizes the security with the robust encryption, access control, and the compliance features to meet the industry and the regulatory standards. And it also adheres to the data governance principle, ensuring that sensitive information is handled responsibly and in compliance with privacy regulations. And in the screen, if you see, we have all these tools and features within the Fabric. So you have Data Factory, we have the tools for the data engineering, you have the tools for the data science, for the data warehousing, if you want to do real-time analytics, building the Power BI or Data Activator, if you want to use AI, and then for the data governance, you have Purview. And then we have a one lake where, we say, just put all your data into the one lake, irrespective of structured or unstructured data. And it will basically used by the features on the top. Okay, let me skip this video and
Next generation AI.
Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so let's start with the Data Factory, which is the one of the feature that we have in Microsoft Fabric. And if you are in the data and AI field, and I'm assuming you already worked and worked with the Data Factory, or at least you've known about what the Data Factory is all about. So it is a orchestration tool from Microsoft, right? Which makes it possible to integrate the data from different sources so that you can actually transform the data and make it available for the further usage in the organization, right? Now we're bringing the Copilot for the Data Factory. That means you can actually chat the Copilot to describe the data transformation in the natural language. And in the screenshot, you can see on the right-hand side, you can provide what you want to do in your Data Factory, and the Copilot will able to assist you with that, right? You can also then use the AI capabilities for the data transformation steps. So, for example, if you're in the Power Query within the Data Factory, it basically gonna help you to generate the different steps as well. And you can use this Copilots to actually schedule and run the managed data flows as well. So let me do one thing. Okay, let me go and let me bring my another screen to show you how that looks like in the Fabric world. So just give me 1 second. Let me go to the Data Factory and bring the screen over here. All right. So what I can do is I can go into Data Flow Gen 2 as an example. So in the bottom, you can see we have all these options that we have seen in the presentations. So you have Power BI, Data Activator, Data Engineering, Data Science, and so on and so forth. So on the right-hand side, on the Data Flow Gen 2, you can see we have the Copilot. You can click and it will be get enabled over here. You can actually go ahead and start interacting with it. So let's say I don't know how to I can get the data. So let me ask Copilot, help me to get the data from the Lakehouse. So I'll just click on that. And I'm gonna select my one Lakehouse. And once it's connected, it was asking me what all tables that I want to import for the further transformation. So I'll just select my city dimensions and the sales fact data, and I'll just click on the create. Now, if I want to understand these different queries like dimension city and the fact table, I can actually go ahead and ask the Copilot. So over here, you can see, I can say, okay, describe this query, and the query is fact underscore sale. Okay, this is okay. Let me try the another query. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say create a query to join fact sale and dimension city based on city E. Okay, this is strange. Let me just restart this.
While it is restarting, so the dimension city and fact sales are the tables, and then the city key is the column, right? Just for everyone's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It should match the exact table name and.
Yeah, it's
column.
there in both the tables. Yeah. I'll come back to this. This is not sure it's because of the my capacity that I'm running. I'm running on the trial capacity of the Fabric, because Fabric has a different capacity that you can utilize. So maybe because I'm working on this since morning, so maybe the reason it's somewhere there's some issues, maybe. And you can see it's still in preview. So I'm probably going to come back to this in a while. But the whole idea is you can do a lot of stuff. You can, you can ask about your data. You can ask if you want to add a new query, or if you want to add a different task or different jobs within the query, you can actually go and do that. Or if you want to add the steps as well, right? So all this, you can do it with the help of the Copilot rather than, go and search anywhere. So that makes your life a little easier and less time consuming and make you more productive, right? Now let me just take you back to the presentation, and let me just go back to the next, and I'll come back to this in a while. Okay, with respect into the data engineering and the data science, we also have the Copilot in the notebook as well. So when you use your notebook for the data engineering, or maybe you want to do for the data science workload, you can actually go and leverage the Copilot for understanding your data sets, or maybe if you want to do some basic operations, you can do that, or more complex transformation, you can ask for the code, or maybe you want to understand any piece of the code, that also you can do it, right? So that's also possible with the Copilot. And let me just take you back into my demo environment. Just bring it here, and let me close this. Okay, later. And let's go back into the notebook environment. Okay, so the first thing is we need to install this package for the Copilot. So I'll just go ahead and run this package here. So it's almost done. This one, it's on the last step, loading the chat magics. Still running. Okay, there you go. So it came back. Everything is set now. I can go ahead and use the Copilot. And there's multiple ways you can do it. Either you can see on the right hand side, I can start doing the chat, right? And we'll have a look into that. Or in the cell, if I want to, let's say, generate a piece of code, I can actually start writing with the symbol. And then I can start typing what I want, and it's basically going to generate the code. Or maybe if I want to do a chat from the cell, I can actually go ahead and do that. So you have both the options. Whatever way you are comfortable, you can actually go ahead and do that. Now, to start off, let's say I can say load the data into my data frame. So I'll just give the data name. So this is gonna be my file name that I have in my Lakehouse. Just type in the name. It's gonna be sample super store.csv file. Yep. Okay. Now you can see it basically tells me how can I actually go ahead and get the read the data from a file into the Panda data frame using the code. I can copy or I can directly insert that code. And then it basically gives me some more information. So it says it's doing some assumption that the variable name is results, and that it assumed that the Panda is imported as PD, right? So that means in this code, the import is not there, right? So I've already did that. So I'm just going to run this. Right. So this is the data is going to look like. And I'll just go ahead and run this as well, just for some transformation. Okay. Now, let me ask what we can do, right? So I can say generate insights from my data, and I can give my data frame name. So I can say this is going to be PF. That's my data frame variable name. Now it's gonna analyze my data frame and it's gonna provide the insights about the data, right? Now, instead of me going and trying to understand what is this data set is all about, I'm gonna leverage the help of Copilot to analyze it and give me the summary of it, right? So now you can see it basically gives me all the information about the data frame, which contains this information. It has categories, it has sales distribution, it has order date column as well. Yeah, so I get all this information, right? So that's the basic, right? If I want to something like this. If I want to see the distribution, I can actually go ahead and ask for it. So for example, what is the distribution of sales by different product categories? All right. So not only it basically provides you the code, you will notice that it also provides you the formatted information, which basically describes about the code. You can say, okay, just go ahead and insert the code, or you can copy and paste that code. And it's gonna paste that code into the notebook. And here's the code. So I'll just go ahead and run this. And I have my graph available, right? And then I can actually, and as you can see, it basically keeps suggesting me what I can ask, or maybe if I have my own questions, I can go ahead and provide it as well. So let's put up some other questions. What are the top 5 product categories? Let's do that. Right, now you can see it basically provides me that information. Not only that, if I want to analyze this data over the time period, I can do that as well. So here's an example of that on the left-hand side. And if I run this, and this is also generated by Copilot. I haven't written this piece my own. And as you can see, it basically gives me that graph, which basically tells me, right? Now, that makes my life a little easier, because not only I'm just taking the code, I'm also understanding what we're trying to do and what is the outcome of it as well, right? So that becomes more handy for me. Now, one thing I would highly recommend you, because this is AI generated content, it might make some mistakes. So you just make sure before you taking this code into the production, you basically comply with all the policies that you have in your organization, right? Yeah. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand and have that in your mind while you're using the Copilot in your projects. Okay. Here's another example. You can actually go ahead and, let's say, within the cell. So let's say I want to train a machine learning model to forecast sales in this data frame. And if I want to predict the values into a table, and if I run that, the Copilot will get activated, and it's basically gonna read it, what I'm trying to achieve. And now you can see it basically gives me that code, right? Now I can actually go and run this code, and I can make my predictions available and do the reporting on that, right? How much time it took me? I mean, hardly 10 minutes to basically starting from understanding my data frame, loading my data frame, analyzing my data from the different dimensions, and then making some basic graphs, and as well as, generating a code to building a machine learning model. I think not even more than 5 minutes, I'm able to complete that, right? Now, without Copilot, I can go ahead and do that, but that's going to take a good amount of time for me to achieve that, right? So that's the power of AI capabilities in Fabric, and this is the one aspect of it. Now, let me just move on to my slide deck. Take the screen back. here. And all right. I think most of us love Power BI. It's one of the greatest reporting tool that we have. It basically help us to unlock the insights from the data, and we can represent it so well, right? But hardly it, I hear from people, it's pretty hard for them to start or maybe start on the Power BI or understand how to understand the data, what we can do with the data, how we can actually show the data in the reports, right? It's pretty hard for them to start off with, right? And that's where they can use Copilot, right? Or if you're an expert, right, you can ask for suggestions, or maybe you can ask something complex as well, and that's become very handy, right? Now with that, let me just go ahead and go back onto my demo environment, and let's see what we can do in the Power BI. So where is my demo screen? Here. This one. Okay, so this is my Power BI environment, and you can see I've connected to my One Lakehouse, and I have my fact and dimension tables, and I can enable Copilot. Okay. Now the first thing is, let's say I'm not sure about it. What I can do with these data points, I can, ask Copilot to suggest some content for this report. Right, and it's basically saying, you can create a sales performance by city. You can do a customer segmentation and loyalty. You can do stock item analysis and forecasting. You can look into the sales person effectiveness and the, I think this is incentives. And yeah, so let's go ahead and select one of these and say, let's create this. And the Copilot is gonna look into data and look on what I want to create. And it's automatically gonna do it for me. Get that. Right, I'm not going into the content. You can see it has all the parameters over here. And now I can actually go ahead and, if I want to change, I can go ahead and change. But the Copilot gives me an idea and basically helps me to create a page and shows me some of these controls that I can use in my Power BI report, right? So now I can go ahead and start playing with it, and if I want to change, I can go ahead and change that as well, right? I can ask, let's say, what's in my data set? Because as a Power BI developer, whenever you're going to start creating a report, the first thing you do is you basically look into what is your data set is all about, right? And that's basically gives you an idea of what kind of reports that you can create, right? So you can see this Copilot basically reads that information and tells me this is the data sets contain the information about sales transactions of various products across different cities, around the world and so on and so forth, right? So the one shot, instead of me taking out time understanding the data set, understanding, reading the documentation, spending it a lot of time, I can actually go ahead and get it in the Power BI itself. Okay. All right. So that's there. Let me just go ahead and ask one more. These suggestions for another content. And this time, let's ask the sales performance in city. Let's go ahead and create that. That's going to create another. It's going to create another page for me, which basically gives me all the total sales profit, so on and so forth. So let's page for it. Right. And now I can see it basically gives me the sales, profit, and tax comparison. And look at the intelligence of the Copilot. It basically keeps the theme of my report same, right? So it basically looks similar. And now I can actually go ahead and play around with this. And if I want to change, I can go ahead and do that as well. Okay. So that's the capability of the Copilot in Power BI. And let me just move on to the next topic. Let's move this out from here. And let's look into the next step. All right. The next is the generative AI on your data. So that's basically you can leverage the OpenAI models in your data engineering workloads. And there are multiple use cases, right? So if you have your own data sets, and let's say if you want to extract the summary out of it, you can do that. Or if you want to use the OpenAI models for categorization of products, that also you can do, right? There's one more thing in the Fabric is, right? One is you can bring your own OpenAI keys. That means you create OpenAI projects on Azure, and then you can use those deployment name and the authentication keys to make a call, right? The another option in the Fabric is you can actually go ahead and use the OpenAI in Fabric itself, right? So you don't need to spin up any project in Azure. It basically going to build along with your Fabric consumption, okay? And I'll show an example of that. Now, with the large language model programming perspective, we have Synapse ML, which can, you can use LangChain and the semantic kernel, whichever is comparable to you, you can develop and scale the custom generative AI models, right? And let me just go ahead and bring my demo screen to show about that. Okay, let me just run this cell. Now, this is an example of using the OpenAI models from Fabric itself. And that's where you can see I'm just providing the deployment name. Right now, only GPT-3.5 Turbo or GPT-3.5 Turbo 16K is available. But if you have, you want to use another versions of large language model, you can actually spin up your own OpenAI projects, and then you can, use it, right? But now you can see this is spinned up, and it basically provides me the workload endpoint for the OpenAI, right? Now, this is the couple of functions that has been created. So one, it basically print out the result. So whatever request that we're going to send it to the OpenAI endpoint, when the results is going to come back, we're basically going to format that result, right? Now, this is the ChatGPT request. So this is the function that we're going to use to send this request to the endpoint, right? Now, once we have these functions ready, let me just run and make it available. Okay. Now I'm going to call this function, and here I'm going to provide a system message, and I'm going to say you're an AI assistant that helps people find information. And this is the user message box. And this is my question that I'm going to provide. And then I'm actually calling this function that we set up, providing the system message, user message as well. And once we get the response, we are actually calling another function, which is, beautifying the results that we are getting back from the OpenAI. So let's just go ahead and run that. And yeah, there you go. So that's my endpoint, and this is my response status, and that's what's my input, and this is the response from the OpenAI model. Okay. Now let's go ahead and change another one. Let's do with this. And let me just run this command. Right. So now the OpenAI is acting as an IT architect. Now we ask the questions about the CMS system, and then this is the response that I can help, but I need this information to help you, right? And then if I want to change and say, we are an Xbox customer support agent, and your primary goal to help users with the issues they experience with their Xbox devices, just go ahead and provide that information, right? So here is the response. If I ask about the PS5, what is the cost for the PS5? Now you can see, because this OpenAI is given the instruction that you're only going to talk about the Xbox. And we provided this kind of an information. Now, when I ask about the XGP, Xbox Game Pass tokens, it basically says not available, but the Game Pass is subscription service and blah, blah, blah. So all this information is coming back, right? Then in the next example is we are creating another deployment. So now the model is it takes Divinci 003. So I'm going to spin up this endpoint, right? And once I spin up this endpoint, I'll just run this couple of functions. And now I'm gonna, so here's a prompt, which is PostgreSQL table with their perspective, with the properties, all this. And this is how the prompt is gonna be. So let me just go ahead and run this. And you can see I'm asking for a query to list the name of the department which employed more than 10 employees in the last 3 months. So I'm expecting a query out from the OpenAI model to give me that information, right? Now, this basically shows that it'll easier for me to spin up an AI endpoint rather than spending time with the the OpenAI setting up over there. I'm not saying that this is the best or it's the only way, but I'm trying to say this is one of the ways that is available. You can actually go and spin up the endpoint from the Fabric, and as I mentioned, the cost will be associated with the Fabric consumption that is spin up, right? So that's about the usage, and let me just move on. Okay. Last but not the least, I just want to, because we talk about the AI, and it probably gets in your mind that, hey, what happens to the data? Is our data is safe or secure, right? And Microsoft runs on trust, right? And your data is going to be your data. We never use your data to train our models. It's your model. If you use it, your data for training your models, you use that model. So we don't use it for to train our models, which is publicly available, right? Your data is also protected by the most comprehensive enterprise compliance and the security controls, right? And there are a lot of examples out there to show our credibility on the trust side, right? So you can be rest assured that all this data is safe and compliance. Yeah, feel free to run your AI workload on Azure. So that's it for the today. Probably, if you guys interested, maybe maybe some other day we'll have a deeper discussion on one of the features. I know this is just the very high level overview, but definitely if you guys interested, then probably we'll talk about more on a specific topic and deeper dive into that and see more demos on that. Okay, let me take a couple of questions on the chat window. Will Copilot be available in Power BI desktop as well as or only? In future, maybe. I don't think we have any public information available at this point of stage. Can Copilot be used for all data sources? Copilot for Power BI, that is. So once you're, so what happens is, when you actually import the data into the Power BI, right? By connecting any data sources, right? Ideally, it will work on the data because it's now the part of the Power BI, right? Because that's what you're going to use to design your report. So it should work. I don't see anything. I have used many data sources so far, and still it's in preview. So yeah, I'm not heard of any limitations on that side. Thank you. Okay. Thanks, Willem. Question: is Copilot free? Is a part of your enterprise agreement. So even if you're using in Fabric, it is a part of your, the fabric consumption that you're going to use, and whether your organization will enable it or not, right? For you, if you're working for organization, is free, but your organization will pay for it for sure. Yeah. All right, cool. I think that's all the question we have.
Yeah, I think the requirement is, I think you need to have a P1 capacity or a F2 capacity at least for Copilot, to enable Copilot.
So it's not free. That's what we are trying to say. But if you're a part of organization, yeah, it's free. But if you're using it for your personal use, yeah, that will cost you. It's not free.
Thank you, Sudev, for your insights, and it was really helpful. I think, hope you all agree that we had some good session and understanding of what, how we can use Copilot in the different areas like the data factory and the Power BI and also in the notebooks. Thank you very much, Sudev.
Cool. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for the folks who are joining us in the odd timings. I really appreciate your time. Yeah, and thank you everyone for your time. It really encourages us, to share knowledge. And as long as I know the community members, everybody will agree that we also, we are here to speak, but we also here to listen from you guys as well. So if you have anything,
that
feel free to share with us. We'll be happy to learn from you as well. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and also if anyone is interested in presenting anything, please contact me. For now. Thank you. I'm going to stop the recording now.